Receiving SMSs for new loans. Is that acceptable? Is that good behavior? Good conduct from a creditor? Let's look at a scenario. I'm sitting here, I receive an SMS, and when I open the SMS it says, easy loans, blacklisted clients welcome, low interest rates, already approved for 100,000 rand. And immediately I will pick up the phone, I will phone that institution and ask them for that 100,000 rand. Is that correct? Is that lawful? Well, let's look at it. Step number one, or question number one. The Credit Act is very clear. You are not allowed to go to a workplace to sell loans. You are not allowed to do that. It's in the Act. Secondly, how can you market, promote an approved loan for 100,000 rand? I don't think that complies with marketing proper and sound marketing principles. Nobody can approve a 100,000 rand loan for me without knowing what my income is. Yet they sent me that SMS. That matters should be reported to the credit regulator. There's enough papers, media reports and investigations being done by the NCR against such advertising material that is misleading. Take it one step further. How can they actually allow a loan or approve a loan when they know that you are blacklisted? I think historically it was possible. Prior to 2007, there was no real regulation about affordability and so on. We all accept that the banks will not do business with you if you are blacklisted. But the reality is, if they can make a good profit margin on you, a high interest rate, they're prepared to give you that loan because they are going to get their money out of the high interest rates for that high risk clients. When 2007 came around, a concept was introduced called reckless lending. Remember, reckless lending, not reckless borrowing, which placed the onus on the creditor to make sure that you can afford to repay that loan. It's not your responsibility. You have to be honest to the creditor, but if he insists on approving you the loan, he can be deemed reckless. So a change came in 2007. Not really enforced for the last, 7 years. But in the 2014 Credit Amendment Act and regulations, a lot of emphasis is put on affordability guidelines that is imposed by the credit regulator. In other words, credit providers must now assess your affordability before they approve your new loan. And how will they do it? It's different than in the past. Definitely it's different because there is guidelines on what you need for your household expenses. A certain income bracket cannot declare household expenses below a certain amount. In the past, you will go to a certain bank and they will say 700 rand living expenses is enough. That days is over. There's a guideline to say that if this is your income group, you cannot declare less money for living expenses. That's affordability. It's a huge change in the industry. They have to take into account all your debts that you currently have, including the debt repayments that's held by a credit bureau. In the past, a lot of institutions never looked at what was on the credit bureau reported. and who else you owe money. As long as you can pay their installment, they grant you the loan. Now, the total installment of all the debt must be affordable to you before they can give you another loan. Another thing that did not happen in the past is they will, for example, use your gross salary to determine your affordability. Now they will have to deduct all statutory deductions, your tax, UIF, employment deductions like insurance premiums, medical aid, pension fund contributions. And only the net salary that remains can be used in the affordability calculations, which is a huge difference to how it was happening in the past. And then the most important one, remember the topic is the advertisement, easy loans, blacklisted, 100,000 rand pre-approved. It will not happen like that, because the creditor must now take into account your debt repayment history. In other words, if you are blacklisted, so-called blacklisted, in other words, you have adverse information or a slow payer history, they will not be able to grant you a loan. If they do, that will be reckless credit, and the creditor can be disciplined by the credit regulator if they have found that they've advanced you a loan when not considering all these 4 factors I've just explained.